One day, my usually cheerful daughter suddenly became distant. At first, I thought it was just adolescence, but her suspicious behavior increased day by day. Then one night at 2 a.m., she suddenly woke me up and told me, "We need to escape from Dad." My daughter tried saving me in the middle of the night. The reality behind this was shocking. Something's been off with my daughter Abby since last week. I can't pinpoint an exact cause, but the first strange thing is our conversations at home. Abby and I have always been quite close. We're more than just mother and daughter. Sometimes we're like friends. She's a huge fan of detective stories because of me, and every year we watch a movie about it together during summer break. We talk about everything from school events to politics, even how we'd handle a zombie apocalypse. It sounds odd, but I used to think about that too. Abby's in the 6th grade, almost a middle schooler. While some of my friends complain that their kids don't talk to them, Abby has always shared everything with me. But a few weeks ago, she suddenly stopped talking. "Abby, how was school today? Was it tough?" "Abby, are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm fine."
Her responses became terse, with sighs and annoyed looks. The more I asked, the more she snapped.
"Just leave me alone."
Her expressions grew darker, like a completely different person. I've never seen her like this before. Maybe it's just a phase? You know, teenage mood swings. Even I still have those days. But so suddenly? Can it start like flipping a switch? I remember gradually feeling irritated with my parents when I was about her age. If it's just a phase, that's fine. It's part of growing up. But there's more. The second issue is of her ignoring her father. She used to love hanging out with him, even hiding in his closet for fun. Now she avoids him like the plague, retreating to her room when he comes home. I thought it was a coincidence at first, but for 2 weeks now, it's been the same. It's intentional, I think. My husband's starting to notice too.
"It's been a while since I've seen Abby's face. Is she avoiding me? Is this what a face looks like?"
He's taking it lightly, but seeing me worried, he suggested,
"Maybe check her phone for clues."
So I secretly looked through her phone, but found nothing suspicious in her messages or photos. Maybe I'm being too sneaky. Kids hate that, right? True, but as her parents, we agreed we could check her phone since she uses it for things like tutoring sessions. I didn't want her deleting any important messages. But I found nothing, so I wondered if there was no real issue. I even contacted her teacher, who didn't notice anything off.
"She talks to her friends a lot. The only thing that comes to mind is her struggling to write an essay about her future dreams."
Could not having dreams relate to being cold towards family? Maybe it's just typical teenage frustration. Maybe I'm overthinking it. She's smart. She might be dealing with something. I'll just keep watching over her and talk to her directly too, if it bothers me so much. I've been asking what's wrong, but her ignoring me has been hard. As a mother, I'll try talking to her again. I sought advice from friends who were also parents because my daughter's behavior worried me. The more I explained, the more my friends thought it was just a phase, but I felt something was seriously off. 2 weeks later, I talked to my friends again about this issue, revealing the truth behind my daughter's actions. A few days after my last inquiry, I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my daughter when we were alone at home. I told her I was worried about her recent behavior, that I wanted things to go back to how they were, and that she should talk to me if something was bothering her, because I loved her very much and was very worried. My daughter's eyes welled up for a moment.
"I want to be like before with you too, Mom. But for Dad to do that,"
she started to say, but then we heard my husband coming home. She quickly covered her mouth, said,
"I'm going back to my room,"
and ran off. Well, what does she mean for Dad to do that? I couldn't stop thinking about what she wanted to say. Even though my daughter had finally started to open up, I decided to let her come to me when she was ready and didn't push her further. But that night, something happened. I woke up to my body being shaken as if there was an earthquake.
"Mom, wake up,"
my daughter whispered, shaking me. I glanced at the clock. It was 2 a.m. What was she doing in our bedroom? She should be sleeping in her own room. Still groggy, I almost called out, but she quickly covered my mouth.
"Don't let Dad hear us,"
she whispered, clearly wary of my husband. I was confused and even wondered if she was playing a prank on me. But then she said,
"We need to get away from Dad, now."
What? Does she really hate him that much? Or is there something more serious? I've never been abused by my husband at all. We met at work. My father is the company president and introduced us. There's no way my husband could harm me with such a powerful father-in-law. Even though I didn't understand what my daughter meant, the fear in her eyes and her trembling body made me take her seriously. I decided to do as she said without asking too many questions.
Mom, hurry. We need to leave before he notices.
We quickly packed essentials, including cash and valuables, and fled to my parents' house about 20 minutes away by car. My parents were surprised to see us so late at night, but my daughter's serious plea convinced them to let us in.
Grandma, please. I need to protect Mom.
It wasn't uncommon for us to stay over, so they understood my daughter wasn't lying. My parents knew she was a serious child who wouldn't make such things up. My father asked if something had happened that made my daughter feel she needed to protect me. She sighed deeply and then spoke.
The truth is, Dad is cheating. Probably whenever Mom and I stay over here at your house. And he wants to divorce Mom. He's planning to set her up.
Cheating? A setup? All three of us were shocked.
From what I overheard on the phone, he's trying to create false evidence of Mom cheating to get an advantageous divorce.
A trap? I've never been that attractive, so the idea seemed far-fetched. But my daughter continued.
Wait, I have proof.
She played a recording on her phone. My husband's voice was clearly heard saying,
So on June 10, get her drunk and take photos of her at the hotel. With that, I can get a divorce and alimony. I never loved her anyway.
I had felt my husband's lack of affection, but this was unforgivable. My daughter had overheard my husband's conversation while hiding in his closet and recorded it. She was determined to protect me and collected evidence. She had always found the closet in my husband's study comforting, but one day she saw him with another woman when she got back from tutoring. Disturbed, she hid in the closet and overheard his conversation, confirming her suspicions. She was determined to protect me. She had also heard my husband suggest checking her phone, so she deleted any suspicious content from the trash folder. She even tried to get his fingerprint using cornstarch, but failed. I was incredibly moved by my daughter's efforts. Then the topic quickly turned to how to confront my husband. The date that my husband was talking about in the recording was the next day. Coincidentally, I had plans to go drinking with some close female friends on that day, and it was suddenly decided that Martin, a high school classmate and also acquaintance of my husband, would join us. That's when it hit me. So his accomplice was Martin. I decided to go home after all. My daughter opposed, saying,
You're walking right into the fire.
But I played it cool and told her, I'm going undercover. I'm intentionally stepping into my husband's trap, all to get the evidence of his affair that my daughter couldn't fully capture. So I left my parents and daughter, who were fuming at my husband, and went home alone. It was 6 a.m. My husband, unaware of what had happened the night before, woke up as usual and said with unusual cheerfulness,
Ingrid, you got a drinking party today, right? Go out and have fun for a change.
Sensing his scheming tone, as if he wanted this to happen, I responded, I'll be home late tonight, so I'll have Abby stay over at my parents'. This put my husband at ease. Incidentally, my husband had no idea that Abby was already at my parents' house by then. This made me even more determined to exact my revenge, realizing that he didn't care about his family at all. Then came the night of the drinking party. I'll leave out the details for now, but let's just say Martin got what he deserved. Using the plan I got out of Martin, I had a great time with my friends, talking smack, and came home late on purpose. The next morning, my husband made a reckless move.
What's this, Ingrid? You came home late because you were cheating, weren't you?
He said confidently, slamming a picture of me and Martin together on the table. But that photo was taken last night with Martin's help, made to look cozy on purpose. The original photo, which also had other people in it and clearly visible, was cropped to show just me and Martin, which Martin then sent to my husband. My husband quickly pulled out the photo, but if you looked closely, you could see a blurry sign in the background. He had further edited my already edited photo.
Just so you know, being alone and getting cozy with a guy outside a hotel like this counts as cheating. I've been hurt, so I'm filing for divorce and claiming alimony.
And how exactly? I genuinely wanted to ask. The exaggerated nighttime setting he tried to create as evidence only made my and Martin's hands more visible. It's obviously ridiculous, right? I almost burst out laughing. What is that photo? Me getting cozy with a guy? Claiming it's cheating just because we were alone together is a huge stretch. My husband tried to put on an act, saying,
I'm hurt. I trusted you, Ingrid.
Imagining him practicing these lines or playing the victim last night just made me laugh even harder. Trying to compose myself, I decided to catch him out. So how do you already have that photo from last night?
It was sent to me.
By who?
Martin, of course.
I didn't tell you Martin was coming, did I? How did you know then? He flinched for a moment, but quickly recovered and denied everything.
I'm close enough with Martin to get real-time updates. Got a problem with that? You're just trying to distract me from your cheating, aren't you?
No need for that.
What?
Look closely. Both Martin and I have our hands visible in the photo.
So what?
Then, who took the picture? Here's proof we weren't alone. Cue dramatic sound effect. He had a split second of realization before returning to denial.
Ugh, it was probably taken by a staff member at the bar.
As my husband's confidence started to waver, I pulled out the real proof. Wrong. This photo actually has 5 people in it. See this picture and this one match perfectly. Showing him the unedited original, he was dumbfounded.
What? Damn. Martin messed up.
Scrambling to think of a way out, he finally conceded.
If it's not cheating, then fine. Problem solved.
Hold on. Nothing's solved. You accused me of cheating and didn't even apologize. Who edited that neon-lit background then?
It wasn't me. It must have been you?
Are you serious? I don't have any reason to do that, but you do, since you're the one cheating. At that moment, his body jolted. This was one of the few times he was actually honest. As I raised my voice, he blinked and flinched.
I'm not cheating. Martin sent that picture to break us up. It's all his plot.
As expected, he shifted the blame. Why don't we hear it from Martin himself? I said, opening the door. I opened the door calmly, revealing an angry Martin. After giving Martin a talking to last night, I told him to come over this morning, long before my husband would be awake. Martin had been standing there, freezing and furious from hearing my husband's words. Naturally, a fight broke out.
So you're blaming me now? I felt guilty for sharing your info with Ingrid and the ladies, but I shouldn't have. So you turned your back on me? And you edited the photo? Edited? You asked for a cozy photo to be sent, remember? Shut up. They already know everything anyway. They know about your affair with the receptionist and your plan to frame Ingrid to get a divorce. You told them that too? Did you also mention the $2,000 I paid you to set her up? Oh, I didn't mention the amount. Oops.
He covered his mouth, realizing he'd exposed himself. As he glanced at me, it was clear. He dug his own grave. And guess what? I recorded this whole argument on my phone. When they realized that I was looking at them like I was staring at cockroaches, they both turned pale. During our grilling of Martin the night before, he said that he helped out of loyalty and a bit of fear. But I thought to myself, who is he fooling? Martin didn't want to admit he did it for the money, scared of our questioning. Both Martin, who got lured by money, and my husband, who tried to manipulate with money, are the worst. Despite the presence of witnesses and nearly confessing, my husband kept fighting back.
I admit I wanted a divorce, but I wasn't cheating. Martin lied about everything,
he said, trying to defend himself. How about these messages and photos? I said, showing him the evidence of his infidelity from my phone. Sweating, he looked at me and asked,
How did you get those?
Let me explain. 1. I left a bottle of Coke on the table with a note saying, "Good job today," for my husband. 2. After drinking it, my husband fell into a deep sleep and I used his finger to easily unlock his phone. 3. I transferred the incriminating photos via airdrop. Simple steps, really. Although Abby struggled to unlock it, I did it effortlessly. Making someone sleep is basic detective work, at least on crime shows. With this evidence, it was checkmate. No matter how much he tried to delete the photos from his phone, it was pointless now.
I'm sorry. I'll pay the alimony. Just please don't tell your dad.
No chance. He's already heard everything. Before the drinking party last night, I had collected the divorce papers and bought a bugging device, setting it up to send audio to my parents' house. My parents and daughter wanted to keep tabs on the situation.
No way.
My husband crumbled as I handed him the divorce papers, bringing this saga to an end. By the way, Martin has a fiancée. When I told him I'd be informing her about this, he collapsed to his knees, just like my husband. Even after all the cooperation, I had no intention of forgiving anyone. Thanks to my daughter's insight and detective skills, I was able to preempt my husband's affair. A few weeks later, the divorce went through successfully. Now, for the aftermath of my ex-husband's downfall. As expected, he lost his job. My father, the company president, heard the entire conversation. My ex-husband was also disowned by his parents. The divorce news inevitably reached my in-laws. With a divorce being his fault, he had to leave the house and lost a significant amount of money in the settlement. Financially ruined, he began to spiral into depression. A brief explanation, but yes, it's hell for him. Losing his job, home, and money, he also lost his relationship with a woman he cheated with. Her company was one of our clients, and the affair became public knowledge. She lost her job, became the subject of gossip, and moved to another city. I received the alimony in a lump sum and didn't care about her anymore. On the bright side, my daughter discovered her passion for detective work from this experience. She dreams of becoming an excellent detective and helping people. She even wrote about it in her graduation essay. With the negative influence of my husband gone, she's back to her cheerful self. We're looking forward to living happily together. As for Martin, he got dumped by his fiancée. That's all for now. I hope my daughter becomes a great detective.